Where were you when you got the word about the Supreme Court decision, and what has it been like in Texas since then?
I was making my way back to Texas from New York and immediately reached out to my team and said, listen, there are millions of people across the state who are now under attack. We have a trigger law in Texas that means all abortion will be outlawed, beginning at fertilization, with no exception for rape or incest. How do we do everything that we can right now to fight for them and to make sure that everyone has a chance to act? Because action is going to be our best way to overcome this. It's the key to victory, and it's the antidote to the despair that so many are tempted to succumb to at this moment. As you mentioned a minute ago, we had our biggest weekend of knocking on doors since we began this campaign in November. More than 30,000 times, a volunteer knocked on the door of a complete stranger and invited them to come into this election, participate in our democracy in a state that does more than any other to suppress and intimidate the vote, and ensure that every single one of us understands what's on the line. And the fact that this is happening more than 4 months away from this election on November 8th tells you everything about how motivated the people of Texas are. That's the spirit of this state. This Supreme Court decision, Greg Abbott's cruelty, that will not define us. We will be defined by the way in which we overcome this, by winning political power and making sure that those rights of every single Texan are protected and expanded going forward.
Greg Abbott said he's going to eliminate rape in the state of Texas. There's no adult question I can ask you about that. I just want to get your reaction to him making that announcement to Texas that he's going to eliminate rape.
As you pointed out earlier, not only has he not eliminated it, Texas unfortunately leads the nation in the number of people who have been raped in our state. And since Greg Abbott has been governor, the clearance rate for violent crimes, including rape, has declined from 70% to 50%. So not only are there more people being raped, there are now more rapists out there who have not been brought to justice. And we can only imagine what that feels like for these victims to not have that justice, that accountability, or that closure. And it is all because of the person in power who says that he is for life and that he cares about the heartbeats of our fellow Texans. But when you look at the evidence, the victims of these rapes, the women in this state who experience a maternal mortality crisis unknown for much of the rest of the country, 3 times as bad for Black women in the state of Texas, a child protective services system that oversees the worst run foster care program in America. 100 children lost their lives in CPS custody and care over the last 1.5 years just here in the state of Texas. And as you pointed out earlier, gun violence is now the leading cause of death for children and teenagers in the state of Texas. This guy does not care at all about the lives of our fellow Texans. So it's time that we replace him. I don't know that he wants people to die, but he's unable or unwilling to do the things, make the changes, stand up to the special interests necessary to save lives in Texas. So let's get past him. Let's win this election in November, and let's get after helping our fellow Texans, saving those lives, and allowing each of us to live to our full and allow this state to fulfill its promise.